4 phases of oversight and management, right? So the first one is what you do when you're sort of getting started in planning. So before you really have, I mean, the reality is that everyone is sort of doing governance and data intelligence activities, and generally it's probably very informal. But if you're planning, more of a formal or organized structure, there's a phase where you're just figuring out what you're going to do. If you're interested, we did a whole couple series of sessions on assessing and planning and building a roadmap, and I would recommend that webinar if you want to learn more about that. The second phase is then implementing and training. So you figure out what you want to do. Now you're trying to roll this out, and you're implementing and training. You're implementing new processes and training new people. That can repeat over time, but it's a sort of a phase of the project, even if it's sort of iterative. The next is ongoing support and management. So once you have some of these processes and people in place and content in place, you're going to continue to support and manage and oversee the continued organic growth and use of that of that content and of the data governance solution. And lastly, you have expansion. So it is, you probably have heard me say this if you've been in several sessions, that you want to set yourself up for success with data governance, and you don't want to try to do everything at once. And most people, if they're planning this right, have prioritized, hey, we're going to do glossary, and then we're going to do reference data, and then we're going to do quality or whatever, or we're going to, and there's a number of different ways to expand, both in terms of content that are content examples, or also within your organization or within your, other areas. I've been talking to a health insurance and provider chain who started in one area, and now they're trying to expand their glossary out to the other. So that expansion phase is a big point. And sometimes projects get stuck there. You sort of implement with one group, and you can't take it to that next level. So you have to sort of plan for that. And the real role for that is in the driver of that is in this oversight and management team. Data governance, a lot of people say, we're not ready for it. We don't have the culture for it. It's too much work. We don't have time for it. And I understand that concern. And this can be overwhelming. This can seem like, oh my God, I don't have time to do all these things. This is like an ideal situation of what you want to do. Your organization, what you can do, how to kind of figure out how to do the parts of this that are necessary for your goals. And you can grow into this. But, it is important to understand, like, if you really want to do this well, all of these things are things you need to